What's good everybody, this is Saber054 on the Whimsy Players channel. Today I'm going to show you guys my Whitebeard deck, explain to you why I run certain cards and how I think you should run Whitebeard in the current meta game if you want to see a little bit of success with it. This leader was basically the tier 0 / best tier 1 deck during its time in the early OP2, OP3, even OP4 era you could say. But it's not the same deck anymore because it's basically, the leader is just a 6k beater and the only effect you got is basically an effect that hurts you basically. Vanilla beater, no positive effect besides just hurting your life. 6k, start with 6 life and then end of your turn you lose 1 life. So it kind of reflects the Marineford Whitebeard arc you could say in the series. So to get the most or the best out of this card, now that so many decks put so much pressure, they got all these destruction effects and they just got more ways to maneuver through him, break through him. The best thing you gotta do, I think, is to build a really turbo rush deck and just try and corner your opponent as quickly as possible and put that pressure. For this reason, we run a lot of rush cards, including this Zoro, 4 copies. And there's certain cards that you're going to have to see and get lucky, to be honest, if you're going to get the best out of him. For example, the 9 boss Whitebeard and the You May Be a Fool But I Still Love You, this little event. Just to sort of protect yourself a little bit from his own effect and just not lose life. So let's start with the cards. I got the 1 Izo from EB1. This is a nice little card that's basically a free 1000 bonus to one of your characters, so it's almost like he's a 4 for 7 character, and then on your opponent's attack you can basically discard a card from your hand that has Whitebeard or Land of Wano, and it's going to turn that, well, it decreases 2000 on one of your opponent's cards, but you can think of it almost as it turning one of your cards into a 2k counter. So if you got like some extra stuff like these Whitebeards sort of useless in hand, or Chopper, or just something else that an event, you know, these, you want to have them as triggers, maybe you don't want to use them, so it's gonna give you some defense, so it's pretty good. It's a Whitebeard card too, even though it's also a Land of Wano, so it's searchable with our stuff. So 1 copy I think is a good little card as a deck. Then we got the Roronoa Zoro, non-Whitebeard card, so you won't be able to search it, but I think this is a pretty good card still. It's got that standard 3 for 5000, but it gives you rush, and that's pretty good. So you always, when I play this down, get that free attack. You know, nowadays there's a couple of cards that I was running, but I'm not running because they're too slow. And like I've said, they just conflict with your strategy. Like for example, where's that fat guy with the axes? Let me find him from the starter deck. Where are you? This guy. So Atmos, I had this guy in the deck, 4 copies, but I took him out because I'm thinking I never just get the effect off, or when I can summon him and maybe get the effect off, it doesn't really matter, it's just too late. So it's just too slow because it's a when attacking card. So took him out and favored different cards. But back to the deck. Then we got the Whitebeard. Definitely gotta have this, and you wanna get lucky and get this. Make sure you have it as soon as you hit 9 Daunts. Be able to summon this guy to prevent yourself from losing life for that turn. And if you can, hopefully you can search him with Izo. So boosts your attack, turns this guy into 8k. And that's about it. I mean, the when attacking pop small guys effect, like little blockers with 3000 or less, it never really comes up. Very few times it ever came up that I can think of. And the cost, I think, is too big. Like, you got to put 2 Dawns, at least if it was maybe 1 Dawn. But anyway, gotta have this guy, and we do want to play first with this leader. Obviously, you get that extra card when you play second, but just playing first and being the first to attack, taking advantage of his 6k, I think it just makes sense. I mean, the Dawn, like the cards in his archetype, they sort of almost hint you with, you know, Whitebeard being 9, all the 3 characters. So I believe you should play first with this deck if you can. Okay. Then we got the Jozu. You never want to summon this card, but it's just a 2k counter to give us even more defense, so that's pretty good. Max it out. Then we got the Izzo. Your searcher, your 1-cost searcher for the deck is pretty good. You can get Whitebeard cards, including events too, except Izzo. So, gotta run him. And then max out the Fossa too. Don't got too many cheap cards in this deck, and I want, if my opponent forces me to play second, or if I don't got any Zoros or something to summon, I want to summon something and just summon this guy, just so that you can, you want to really just take advantage of Edward Newgate's attack, and you're not going to have too much life since you deplete your own life with this effect. And later on, when your opponent has those big characters, you're not really going to be protected, because you can't, like, even if you try and block some attacks in the early game, you're still going to lose life with your effect. So when your opponent has those big characters and then you can't block attacks anyway, it's nice to have a few blockers so that maybe you can stop some attacks. So that's where this guy comes in, as opposed to just having some other cards. And worst comes to worst, he's still a counter in hand. Then we max out this Marco. There's a nice little mid-range card, because if they kill him and you got events in hand, he can revive. So it's just a very nice, way to just keep getting him back. And he's 6k, your opponent might have trouble dealing with him. Obviously, when you on-play summon him, you get to destroy something 3,000 or less, and that's pretty good to get rid of small characters, combo characters of your opponent may be using, and blockers, so pretty good. Got the 1 Tony Chopper, just another 1-cost card to go with the Izzo. Maybe if we play first, we don't see the Izzo, we see this, we can summon him once again, get that board presence, cheap blocker, could be handy. Then the 4 Edward Newgate from the new starter deck. Similar to Izzo, it's gonna give you that free Dawn, pretty good. Give you 1k to your Whitebeard leader or another character. And then you can instantly just rest him to pop a 5k or lower character. So it's almost like he gets to attack in a way. So it's pretty nice. Just a good Whitebeard card, beater, useful effects. Gotta have him as opposed to something else. And then we got King Do. It's a pretty important card in the deck. I had to, but then I bumped it up to 4 when I got rid of Atmos and other cards. This card is nice because it's a blocker, but it's a sort of floater in a way, because if your opponent pops it, your leader or one of your... no, it's just your leader. It's going to gain 2,000, so again, you just make this guy a lot more tankier, so they have difficulty attacking him. So that's pretty good. So your opponent is going to be in a rough spot thinking, okay, if I pop this so that he doesn't use it to block, he's going to get his attack boosted, so I'm going to struggle to damage him perhaps. If they attack with a big dude, then you can just block. So it's pretty good. Max him out. I think it's the best choice. Then we got Thatch, 2k counter once again from the starter deck. Max it out. You never really want to summon the guy. That's about it. Max out the Rush Ace, pretty good once again. Whitebeard card, Rush, put that pressure. Counter in hand, so if you really don't want to summon him, and it's not like Zoro where you sort of have to summon him or he's useless. You can still use him as a counter, but most of the time you really want to use him because of that rush. And then he's a nice card down. They can't really destroy it through effects. They're going to have to waste more resources if they want to go that route. Pretty good. Gotta max it out, I think. Then we got a few events. The most important one is this one. You may be a fool, but I still love you. I think the English name is different, but I might be wrong. Basically, this card is pretty much mandatory in my opinion, and you want to get lucky and see it, or even search it if you can. As soon as you hit 3 life, you want to start playing this if you can, so that you can maintain some health instead of just keep losing life with this guy's effect. Okay? You gotta pay a Dawn, but you know, they couldn't have made it free. And then the trigger effect is pretty good as well, giving your leader 1,000 during the entire turn. It doesn't really come up, to be honest, but if it does, it's nice. Because most of the time, you know, when they attack with those big characters, then it won't matter. And then when they attack with the small dudes, like 6 or more, like 6 or 7 we block. But you gotta have it. The only flaw with this card is that you can't use it immediately. You gotta be at 3 life and then you can start using it. So, kinda sucks a little bit. But oh well. Then we got Crossfire and Fiery Doll. These are just some, extra Whitebeard events. Stuff to discard with Marco. If they kill him, you can just get rid of this. Just counter cards too. I want to have a few counters. We got like what? The 4. You may be a fool. You got these 2, and then we got the Gum Jet pistols, and basically that's it. So it's not too many, so I want to have a few. This one can work during your main phase, just decrease something, or as a counter. Sometimes you might go that direction. If you don't got something to summon, you want to give yourself some defense. This boosts your attack, can be pretty good pushing for game with Whitebeard. It's pretty nice. And then Gum Jet Pistol, not a Whitebeard card, but just a nice popping card and also a trigger. Get rid of some blockers. Could be pretty good. Just another event for Marco to have a few targets. And this is the Whitebeard deck, guys. It's not the same deck as it was. The competition is a lot fiercer now. But against some decks, he might still be pretty good. If you can put the pressure and, they got to discard cards from their hand to defend themselves. It's almost like they pay cards that way and you get to get rid of their cards. And obviously, a little bit more difficulty attacking him when it's 6k. And yeah, definitely gonna need to see the new gate cost 9 and then this to maintain your life. Take advantage of the rush characters, put that pressure, get those blockers down at the same time, and you might get some nice victories with this deck as I showed in my matches. But I believe that's the best way to use the deck. Just really go aggro with it. Focus on hitting your opponent's life, perhaps not really their characters most of the time, and just try to corner him super quick. That's the best way I can describe it. Okay guys, this is my list. By no means I'm like a tournament winning player all the time or whatever, but I just built it the best way that I could. You can watch my matches to see if you dig the deck or not. That's about it. Thank you guys for watching the vid. Sub to the channel, leave a like, share the video with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time. What